Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Tasbiha Fazal from Business Development and Marketing Department at DSG Energy, and I am your host for today's session of Season 5.0 Episode 4. And I welcome to every viewer joining us today, and I am truly honored to be your host for this exciting session of DSG Webinar series. And one thing I want to mention over here that I think that at DSG Energy, now our mission is just go beyond to just powering homes and businesses. I think we are here to take multiple initiatives like our webinar series, our podcast series, our Green Leader program. Like all these initiatives are tell us that we are here to spark the conversations, fuel the innovation, and drive the real change in a way our cities and communities definitely think about energy. And the energy is definitely should be renewable energy. And that's why today's topic is incredibly close to our hearts. So our theme of today's topic is sustainable cities powered by youth, fueled by vision and action. So, to take this dialogue to the next level, I am excited to welcome some incredible guests with us who are actively shaping the future of sustainability. So, joining me today, some incredibly passionate and driven young change makers, the ambassadors of the SG Green Leader program, Mr. Alham Tariq, and he is a student of international relations and he is a student of sixth semester and is a student of the University of Central Punjab and having a deep understanding in the world affairs, geopolitics, geoeconomics, and has been raising awareness regarding the non-traditional security issues and the world facing issues regarding climate change and much more. So, welcome, Alham.
Thank you so much, Taspriya. Hello,
How
everyone.
are you?
I'm doing really good, and I hope the same for you.
Yeah, I am good. So now it's time to introduce our next guest. Our next guest is Sayyida Laiba Fatma. She is a student of chemical engineering and ex-president of American Institute of Chemical Engineering UET. She is also a national debater and also showing herself as a green energy enthusiast. So welcome, Laiba. How are you?
Thank you so much, Tasbia, for such a kind introduction. I'm good, Alhamdulillah.
That's great. So, Alham, I want to ask something that in your description you mentioned that you're having a deep understanding of the world affairs, geopolitics, geoeconomics. So, could you please share that how you develop your interest in such complex and dynamic fields?
It is actually somewhat interesting story. I am a person of literature as well. My one introduction is that I am an Urdu poet. So, having decided literature and then a family background that runs in politics, I was always interested in what's happening in the world, what's happening around me, what are the forces which are driving the whole global structure. So that made me realize where my interests lie and what I want to pursue. So that's how I got into this degree, and I believe that is the best decision of my life. I am literally enjoying whatever is happening. Like right now, I shouldn't say the word enjoy here, but it's quite interesting situation what's happening in Iran and Israel at the moment, which tells a lot about the coming future as well, the future of multipolarity in the whole word and all sorts of things. So that's how I got interested in this, and then I pursued my degree and currently enjoying that.
Okay, great. So, Laiba, in your profile, you also mentioned that you serve as ex-president of American Institute and Chemical Engineering, right? So could you
Yes.
please explain and tell us a bit more about the role and experience you play in the society?
So basically, American Institute of Chemical Engineers is basically a global network of chemical engineers. It's a society that is running internationally, and I'm the one of the presidents of the UET Lahore chapter of IG. So basically, IG is the world's leading organization for the chemical engineers and for the professionals, with more than 60,000 members from over more than 110 countries. So IG has the breadth of resources and expertise you need, whether you are in a core process industries or emerging areas such as translational medicines as well. So, what our role is in the society is to organize different seminars, workshops to aware people about, for example, recently we have organized an important seminar on the smoke awareness. As in, if you remember, in December 2024, there is a lot of smoke, and how we aware the people of university that. Like how to take the precautionary measures against these kind of the for example,
Problems or
these kind of pollution issues. And
Hmm.
other than that, we've also organized some sort of a plantation drives to promote the sustainability and the green initiatives. So these kind of something like these kind of the events we organize, and we promote the green energy initiatives and certain kind of a sustainability events along with that.
Okay, that's great. And we are thrilled to have such passionate and young driven individuals with us today. So, as you guys know, that the topic of today webinar is sustainable cities powered by youth, fueled by vision and action. And I think this isn't just a title, it's a spark. In our era where climate crisis, global warming, and multiple issues that related to global warming are definitely demands urgent solution. And I think it's a passion and innovation of young mind that are driving shift towards greener and smarter cities. And what is the heart of these transformation? It's definitely a solar energy that is clean and renewable. So today we explore that how leadership and sustainable energy, especially solar power, are together shaping the future of urban spaces. So this session is hosted by DSG Energy, and it's all about turning awareness into actions. So now it's time to officially start the segment. So my question is for you, Laiba, that in your own words, can you define that sustainability word that for
So
someone that who are unfamiliar with these terms?
okay, so whenever we listen the word sustainability, many of people have the misconception we talk only about the environment. So basically, the sustainability relies on the three interdependent pillars, often called as the triple bottom line. So, according, if you give, I would give you a reference of the Brundtland report of 1987 that would it presented the three pillar framework. So
Hmm.
sustainability can be defined by the three major pillars. The first one is environment. If we are launching any kind of a technology, if we're launching any kind of a product in a market, it should be environmentally friendly.
Hmm.
It must protect our ecosystem, it must protect our habitats, it must protect our future generations and manage the finite non-renewable resources, and it should minimize the pollution. So it must be environmentally friendly, the first pillar. And the second thing, if we understand, is the social pillar, that is society.
Yeah, definitely.
Either what we are launching our technology, it should be it should cover the target applications, and it should promote the equity, right? It should be there should be some sort of a fair treatment. So the society parameters is very important. The third one is the economy. Whenever we talk about the economy, there must be like it should ensure the financial viability. It should be low cost, and it will promote the long term profitability. If any of the three pillars is not covered, so we cannot say that product or a technology are more sustainable. When we say in simple words, like sustainability is simply about living and making decisions in ways that work well today and keep working well tomorrow by supporting nature, economy, and people in harmony. So it's basically the combination of the three pillars, that is environment, society, and economy.
Okay, excellent point, Laiba. I think such a great storytelling you are. So, my next question is for you, Alham. That how would you convince someone in your community that to accept a solar energy? That definitely you have to say that it is reliable and future-proof solution. So, how you convince someone? And I think in this era, it's really a difficult task to convince someone. So, how
That
you can?
That's a good question, and actually true that it is really hard to convince someone. But when you talk about community, there are all kinds of people here. In my particular community, if I'm talking to someone from my field, I would talk about how eco-modernism plays a good role, how international politics of environment, how geoeconomics plays a role here, and things of the sort, green political theory. But everybody, irrespective of what domain they're from, what field they are from, they must understand that solar energy is actually the future. And how is that? Uh, how it copes with the ongoing climate change. There is a report by MIT which suggests that if we were to opt this solar energy, we were to opt this whole new technology, that would actually reduce the carbon emission by somewhat around 37% in the next 15 years. That's something people should be aware of, because carbon emission, carbon uh, this whole global warming thing, it is actually becoming a really really huge issue for everyone, irrespective of the age, irrespective of what we are doing right now. Global warming is actually a major issue. And when you introduced me, you mentioned that I have a keen observation regarding the contemporary threats, some non-conventional threats as well, non-conventional security issues. I'm sure people here, or people listening to us, or people who will listen to us later on, they must remember the 2022 floods that we faced back, 3 years ago, when half of the Sindh, half of the South Punjab, they were flooded, and we lost, around 70 million rupees, $70 million worth of crops back then. So all these issues, what we are facing actually right now, the 50 degrees centigrade temperature right outside my room, right outside your office, it is something product of climate change, of carbon emission. So solar energy actually, it works on a renewable source. It works on clean energy. It works on sunlight, and sun, as long as it is burning right in the sky, it will keep on providing us the energy. And if we opt that, if we opt this particular side of energy, if we, let the fossil fuels not be used, if we distance ourselves from all those types of fuels, all those types of energy, we will actually reduce this carbon emission. And by reducing the carbon emission, I actually mean that we will uh, go towards a path of sustainability. We will help the nature retrieve itself from this dangerous level. So that's how the solar energy, that's how the climate change action plans, they can work. They can actually help us get rid of all this pollution. As Laiba mentioned, that they conducted some seminars regarding smog awareness back in the winters. So smog is actually happening because of the air pollutants, because of the particle pollutants, because of this whole um, layer of the CO2 gases, which are not letting the heat escape. And we saw that even in the winters, we couldn't get the actual feeling, the actual chill. We couldn't get the real feeling of the winter, of the fall. I remember back when we were kids, we had to wear jackets all along the winters because it was so chilly back then. And I belong to Kashmir. This time, it was not that cold. This time, we could feel something in the air. We could feel, the earth is warming up. We did not have much snow there. We did not have uh, all the enjoyment we used to have back then when the things were normal. So that's how opting this technology, opting solar energy, it will actually help us. And irrespective of our domain, irrespective of our community, everyone needs to understand this, that this is actually the future. This is something that is going to save our future generations. we in the field of international relations we have a concept of the rights of future generation. It's a concept of international law which tells us and which advocates for the future generations to come, how we need to give them something, how we need to sustain the environment for them, how we need to cope with the challenges of climate, of water scarcity and everything. And solar energy right now, that's the only option we have to that. So that's how I would actually try to convince people around me that opting this thing will help us. And when we talk about solar energy, some people think that maybe when there is no sun at the sky, when we won't have sunlight, it won't work. But today there are different technologies that can help us. Different technologies embedded in solar panels as well that does not require actually the whole of the sunlight
Yeah.
to work. Like I remember Germany having the cold, chilly weather and the foggy sky all the time. It still generates like 50% of the energy from solar panels, irrespective of whether they are having the light or not. And the concept of batteries uh, that actually elevates this whole concept. So we should opt this.
Okay, I think absolutely great response, and it's very strong response that you give. So my next question is for you, Laiba. That what challenge do you face when trying to promote clean energy in any local area or among in all older generations?
So whenever we try to promote a clean energy in any kind of local area, there are a lot of challenges, right? So if I can say in a 4 to 5 points, for example, there are a lack of awareness in people. There are a lot of misconceptions. When we take the perspective of Pakistan, especially in the rural and semi rural areas, there is a limited awareness about the clean energy technologies like solar. Many people, particularly from the older generations, associate energy only with the traditional grid systems, that electricity is generated only through the coal, and are unaware of the long-term savings of the renewables, right? So according to the, if I would share one reference, like according to the National Electric Power Regulatory Authority, that is NEPRA, according to the 2023 report, less than 5% of the household in the rural Punjab use the solar power despite the high sunlight availability. So that is the main reason that we are not educating our people about the solar energy, and they have a lot of misconceptions. The second one is like they have some sort of a financial barriers and misunderstanding of the cost. Like there's a misconception that a solar is unaffordable. Even though it's becoming more accessible, many aren't aware of the net metering incentives or the financing options. Even the new policies are being launched under the CM, that is the green credit policies. Many of people are unaware of that, how to take the benefit from these kind of the policies. And that is the fact that the cost of 5 kilowatt rooftop system has dropped by more than 30% since 2020, yet the adoption remains low due to the perceived cost even. So there is yet there is some sort of an awareness gap, policy gap, lack of microfinancing tools, and targeted subsidies for the low income or the retired households contributes to this barrier. But that is something we have to educate people, and how they will able to make something to earn the green credits, as the new program was launched, that is a green credits program. You can earn the credits. So that is something you have to work on, and aware to the older generations and how they can implement these kind of the green technologies in their life. Yeah.
Good, Laiba. This is a very thoughtful response, and I think we have to work on different awareness sessions so everyone should know why solar energy is renewable energy. So my next question is for you, Elham, that why we are when we're talking about climate change, pollution, or a rising temperature and all other related factors that related to global warming, I think they are all linked. And how can solar energy help to break these cycle that cause global warming and harm our environment?
Perfect. Back in 2015, the world leaders, the states, they signed the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement was aimed at reducing the global warming by 1 degree centigrade each year. It was actually designed that way, that the states would make certain commitments and they would work on reducing their carbon emission, and by 2050 they will reach the zero carbon emission milestone. So all the states, or actually, if I'm not wrong, 197 of the states, 196, 197 states signed the Paris Agreement and they worked on that. But we need to understand how this works. We've already discussed how the carbon emission and the CFC gases and everything, they pollute the environment and they raise the temperature.
Yes.
Let's just try to understand it in kind of a cycle. In kind of a cycle that when you when you burn the fossil fuels, you create a vicious cycle. Like, the fossil fuels will release carbon, and there will be carbon emission, and the carbon emission will lead towards global warming, which we are facing right now. Global warming will actually convince us, or I should say that it would demand from us to use the air conditioning systems, and the air conditioning will obviously release CFC gases, and then this whole vicious cycle, it comes into forms, and it then keeps on growing and growing and growing, and the carbon emission will never stop. So we are kind of in a vicious cycle, which does not seem to stop, not until we opt another technology, not until we move from fossil fuels towards something that is more sustainable, that is more clean, that does not require the burning of all these natural resources. We need to do that. And that way, when solar energy will come into place, that will, as I mentioned earlier, reduce the carbon emission by a certain level. Since I have something in mind, European Union, European Union actually opted all these technologies. EU, the whole of the Europe, they opted this technology uh, in 1990s, and from 1990s till 2025, they have reduced 33% of their carbon emission. So that's how these technologies work. And when there will be no carbon emission, when there will be no carbon in our environment, we won't be facing this global warming, and that will actually help us live a life like normal people, like our grandparents used to tell us. So there were the times when we used to go to the fields and lie in the shadow of a very dense tree, and that would just cool ourselves. So that can happen again. We can let the nature grow back, the nature get its initial time back by only opting this technology, by moving from fossil fuels towards clean solar technology, and by actually using solar technology. We can not just solar technology. We can implement different ideas there, and the world is working on them. Like, you guys are working on R&D projects, different R&D projects. By implying all those projects with the this whole technology, there might come some day when we only need an hour of sunlight, and that will sustain us for the whole day, that will give us energy for the whole day. That can happen in the near future. So in my view, solar energy is actually the only option that can help us get rid of this pollution and move us towards a more sustainable life.
Yeah, very well said, Alham. And I think we have to shift towards a greener future and a green energy future by accepting solar energy or any sustainable practices, by accepting any sustainable practices. So, my next question is for you both, that as a student and you are also a part of DSG Green Leader program. So, what sustainability related activities that you have participated so far? And I think the vision behind DSG Green Leader program is to promote sustainability. So,
I think
like,
Laba should start here. Yeah.
okay, Laiba.
So the major activities we participated in, like we organized different plantation drives, like in collaboration with Al Khidmat Foundation at a remote area in PGC. And along with that, we have also organized different workshops named as the Urban Inclusive, which is the major like project um in which we call different school students and aware them about the waste sorting systems, that how they can recycle, reuse, and reduce the waste. So
Yes.
these are some of the initiatives we worked in at LUMS. And the other one we are working on the World Earth Day recently. I have proposed one of the idea to set up and to distribute the money plants to everyone on their office desk, and it's been distributed to everyone, and it's one of the green initiative which has been taken on the World Earth Day recently at DSG as well. So another events we have contributed in energy conference, and some port painting activities at with the school students. And yeah, these kind of activities, if Alham would add some more.
These were all the activities, and not just that. We actually made some reels regarding all of
Yeah.
these things as well, and try to, put them on social media and in just try to raise awareness regarding the issue. And from the painting pots competition, I remember we arranged it at a school in uh, Mystery Shah, and there were kids from the second class, and they all just enjoyed the activity. We first we addressed the issue there. We told them about the climate change and why plantation is actually really necessary at the moment. We don't have any other option there, and those kids were really excited, and we taught them about all these things. And at the end, we gave them the plants. We asked them to paint the pots and then water them daily and take care of the plants. And then by the end of our cohort, which ends in July, we'll revisit those guys, and whoever has the best plant there, whose plant will be healthy and would have grown to a certain length back then. We'll give them some prize as well. So these are some of the initiatives. Laiba has wonderfully explained all of them. So that's what we did, and we really enjoyed all of these.
Okay, great. I think you guys definitely fulfill the vision behind DSG Green Leader program. Okay, so my next question is for you, Ilham. That what impact do industrial emission on urban sustainability, and how solar adoption help to reduce these, and why you say that why industries are hesitate to go with solar, and I think this because of the cost, and they don't know that it's is just a one time investment. So what you can say on that?
Um, Industries actually contribute the most towards carbon emission.
Yeah,
uh,
definitely.
the, the fossil fuels we burn at home, or the deforestation, it does not contribute that much. Industrial emissions, they count up to 40% of the whole global emissions, worsening urban air quality index and public health. Solar can actually decarbonize the manufacturing. Google's data centers now run on 24/7 solar battery systems. We have installed 500. We have installed multiple solar projects in 500 plus industries all around the Pakistan. So we are actually working on that. There is kind of a travesty behind them when we talk about the whole world going solar, and then we don't see it happening when we actually try to raise awareness among the industry owners as well, that going solar will actually cut the cost. Different actors, different political actors, different non-state actors, different multinational corporations, different people running them, like the president of the United States,
Yeah.
Donald Trump. He has said at multiple occasions that climate change is just a hoax. So when such people
Yeah.
are in power, they will also enforce policies that will try to, you know, use the policies that would force the industries to use fossil fuels, because fossil fuel in itself is actually a whole industry which works on these whole industries, the manufacturing industries, buying the oil and the gases. That's how those industries operate. But I believe it is high time for all the industries to actually realize that solar is not that high of a cost as well. It's a one-time investment, and adding the continuously, you know, the cost of maintenance and everything, it still counts less compared to the fossil fuels. But in my view, not just us, but the government as well, the policymakers as well, they need to raise awareness regarding this. They need to actually articulate some policies uh, to aggregate, which aggregate the whole of this region, and the force the industries to opt the solar technology. That will help them grow in the longer run, and it will actually cut several of their taxes and much of the cost, and they can work on different projects at the same time by using the same cost. And I believe that it is high time for the industry owners, the manufacturers, to realize this reality and opt this technology. But again, why this is not happening, it's not just that those people are worried about the cost and everything. They're not that much worried about the cost, but politics play a huge role here as well. And that's why I am addressing that all policymakers or governments, the governments all around the globe, they need to work towards them. Otherwise, COP28 took place in Azerbaijan, Baku, and days before it was there, it was uh, to take place. Their president, sadly, his name is also Ilham. He he made a statement there. He made a statement, quite a derogatory statement. He said that the natural gas, these natural resources, are the gift from God. So why should not we use them? Well, that's the travesty that such a country is hosting the Conference of Parties, something that works on United Nations Convention on the Framework of Climate Change, framework of the Convention of Climate Change, UNFCCC. So something that is working on them, something that actually uh, works for, advocates for the climate change and climate change action plans, etc., the Paris Agreement and everything. Such an organization is holding its conference in a country, and the country's president is saying that. That's the travesty here that we need to address. That the whole world needs to understand that if we don't move towards renewable, more sustainable energy project, we might lose the whole of of our energy sector. You know, the fossil fuels, they are not here forever, but the solar energy is, and that's what our industry owners need to realize as well and move towards that.
Yeah, definitely. Solar energy is here to stay. And one thing you mentioned that industrial sector is a major contributor to a global warming, and they have to take a step to solve these issues. So my next question is for you both, that share your moment during your DSG Green Leaders journey where you felt proud to make an impact that you made.
So, so while many of our planned activities are still in progress, and one moment that truly made me feel proud was simply being selected as a DSG Green Leader and getting the chance to contribute to the real environmental change. And it gave me a sense of responsibility and motivation to turn ideas into action. So the one moment that stand out was on the World Earth Day when our managers asked for some ideas, and when I suggested to my manager that we should distribute the money plants to each employee, encouraging them to take care of it as a personal green responsibility. The next day, this idea was implemented, and every employee received a plant, and it was a heartwarming to see how emotionally connected many became with their plants. Then now care for them regularly, and that simple steps sparked a more personal connection with the nature in our workplace. So it's basically again promoting a green initiative at the office as well. So another initiative which I proposed a few days back, which is now in progress, is the installation of the three bin waste sorting system in the office for the plastic, paper, and organic waste. The system will be implemented soon, and I'm proud to have contributed to an idea that promotes daily sustainability in a very practical way. So
Okay,
yeah,
great, great. And I hope everyone will take care of your plan. So, yes, Alham.
Yeah, my favorite part, the proudest moment, which I had during all this journey. The first one, obviously, being selected there as an eco ambassador. That's something I I first learned about when I was in my first or second semester. We had a seminar with Dr. um, I believe his name is John from Macquarie University, Australia, and he talked about eco-modernism. That's the first time when I came to know that okay, something like that exists in the world. And moving forward in my degree and reading about different things, then I finally got this opportunity to be interviewed at the DSC and finally got selected there. That was one of the proudest moments. But something that makes me more happy than just being selected is when we visited certain schools, when we visited the kids, and when we talked to them, when we addressed some issues there and gave them the plants and all sorts of things. Those kids were really happy, and it showed me a light there. I could see some light in their eyes. I could see that these kids, they hold the future. Obviously we are in our youth, but those are the kids, and they have more time than us, more time than me, you, and Laiba. Maybe three of us combined, some of them will have more time. And when I was talking to them and I asked them, okay, so do you plan to uh, plant these plants, throughout your life? And they were really excited about it. Yeah, why not? We would do that. We do this in our homes on daily basis as well. Different kids, not just in one school, but we held the same kind of activity in LUMS as well. And I'm planning to host one in my university as well. So I'm always happy to talk to kids, to talk to their parents, and uh, when they encourage their kids to take some seeds along and plant them whenever they could, or when the kids are actually talking about all the issues here and they are very hopeful that when they will reach a certain age, looking at us, what we are doing, they are excited. Okay, yeah, one day we'll be like you guys. We will be raising awareness regarding these. So when someone comes to us and they say, you guys were holding this activity in a school, and when my mom heard about it, she gave me some seeds, and I have some seeds in my pocket, and she asked me, when those guys come to you, show them the seeds. See, I have them from my house, and then they will tell you to plant them and etc. So those kids, that excitement, that light in their eyes, that's something that excites me more. That's something that makes me more proud. So we actually had multiple of these opportunities to witness this particular light I'm talking about in kids' eyes. That's what makes me the happiest at the moment.
Okay, great to hear that DSG Energy is also taking part to spread happiness and smiles. Really great initiative. So my next question is for you, Ilham. That what are the biggest challenge you faced while working in sustainability related activities, and how did you overcome it?
So the biggest challenge that I believe not just me but all of us faced was making people realize that sustainability is actually an option. Making people actually realize that yes, they can get rid of this whole environment, this whole pollution, this whole global warming. People at some point, there's a book by Anatol Levin, Pakistan, a Hard Country. He talks about the mentality of our people. He says that Pakistanis, they are the people with such kind of mind, with so much uh, I'd say force, that they can adjust to just any environment. They can just get accustomed with whatever is happening around them. Whether it is inflation, they will get accustomed with inflation. Whether it is global warming, they'll just get very much familiar with the environment, and they'll move on. They don't
Yeah.
just resist. They don't have that resistance in them. So they are very resilient people. That's what he talks about, and I find it actually happening when we went to people and talked about sustainability. Even the people of my age, they would just make fun of that in the initial days, obviously, that how could this happen? How can we actually change this? How can we get rid of this? But when you show them the statistics, when you show them the reports, like I mentioned, when how European Union got rid of carbon emission by they reduced it by 30 to 33% in some 35 years. So that is something to be proud of. That is something that we all can implement. And there's a travesty. People living in the west, in the colden region, they don't understand that the global warming is actually hitting the global south more. Countries like Africa, countries like Pakistan, we need to address this issue to them as well. And whenever we went to those guys, some of the literate people, they did agree to us. And I'm not just talking about DSA. I'm talking about in my field as well, in international relations. When we presented papers in different universities there, so we always got the question of the, like, just like the Donald Trump statement, climate change being a hoax. But then when we started to give them the analytical data, see that is happening. When we gave them the stats, they did understand it, and so did our own people as well. That's why we have seen that even DSC has been successful, and as I mentioned earlier, um, solarizing 500 plus industries all around the Pakistan. So I believe people are moving towards this option. They are having the thought, and we faced some challenges which we overcame, and so will inshallah everyone, and we will see a greener Pakistan soon, inshallah.
Yeah, definitely. We have to moving towards a greener future. Great response, Ilham. So my next question is for you, Lava. That in your view, what defines a truly youth-powered, sustainable city or in the world today?
Uh,
How you
so,
define?
so in my opinion, truly youth power, a sustainable city is a one where young people are not just included but trusted as a change makers, not
Yeah.
in urban planning, it's also in the climate change and innovation. So it means like cities that provide platform for the youth to lead the green projects such as community solar, urban farming, waste management, and sustainable mobility. So if I would give a reference of the UN Habitat Youth 2030 Cities Report, it cited that the integrated youth voices in the decision making see higher success in achieving the SDG 11. That is, SDG is basically a sustainable development goals, which is sustainable cities and communities. So these goals are designed and are in the report in 2015 to promote the sustainability. It also includes the access to the green jobs and entrepreneurship support and climate educations in schools and universities. For example, cities like Frankfurt in Germany and Brazil activities include youth in the climate councils and planning workshops and have become global models for the sustainable living. So, in short, a youth powered city puts a climate justice, inclusion, and innovation in the hands of the most energetic population, that is the youth. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so my next question is for you, Ilham. That what barrier do you think that prevent more young people from become urban sustainable change maker?
I believe there is no physical barrier, but a psychological barrier here. As I
Okay.
told earlier, that people are more resilient in this country, and that's how they just adopt any environment. That's how they just adopt everything that's happening. We need to address these youngsters that there is an option. We need to address them. We need to tell them that there is actually um, an opportunity for them, like the DSG is providing. There's a opportunity for them to actually get a hold of this and start working on this. Now, we have, like in my university, we have Environment Protection Society, and all the kids, before it was established, all the kids they used to just make fun of it happening. Like environment, this society is doing nothing. But as soon as we saw different NGOs, including Al Khidmat Foundation, Afuwat Foundation, and so many others, so many others, WWF and whatnot, them participating in different plantation drives and actually 1 billion tree tsunami, the project by Imran Khan, and we saw that happening. We saw that in the later days. We saw it providing some kind of benefit and people reaping benefit from it, reducing the carbon emission in different areas as well, like different areas. We planted a whole forest back in my village near my house, and that brought back different animals there. That brought back the cool weather there. So that actually took place, and we saw it happening. And that is the same for the youth at the moment, that they need to penetrate this psychological barrier that they have, and they need to understand that this all can be reversed. There is a debate among the people uh, policing for, advocating for uh, the green political theory. There is a debate between um, ecocentricists and anthropocentricists, and both of them they actually talk about this whole thing, how we can get the environment back. Ecocentricists are of the view that leave the nature on its own, just plant the trees, water them, and don't add some more technology or stuff to that, and let the nature grow. Nature has the tendency to recover itself. On the other hand, the anthropocentricists they believe that human intervention can uh, just put more momentum to that, and I believe both of them are right at the moment. At the same time, if we let the nature grow on itself, like in the Amazon forest, if we just stop the deforestation, Amazon has the tendency to regrow. And if we add uh, human efforts to this whole climate action thing, we have seen 1 billion tree tsunami taking, reaping some of the benefits and some of the benefits from it, providing us some good things. So uh, we have both case studies, and I believe both of them can work. And you just needs to understand that yes, this happens, and that way we can get our environment back.
Yeah, definitely. We have to take some initiatives, and we definitely accept solar energy or any renewable and sustainable energy and any sustainable practices that help us to achieve a sustainable future. So, at the end, I want for you both that what advice would you like to give to our viewers that watching our who watching our webinar?
Laiba,
Laiba?
I believe you should start here.
It's all about like why to start and where to start some action. If you want to initiate something, so you must have to know why you want to do this. Because if we say the climate change, pollution, urban challenges are not waiting, and our generation has the creativity, energy, and voice to change things. So afterwards, there is the question that where do we start? We can start small, but we should have to start now. We can plant a one tree, we can reduce a single use plastic, we can join a local cleanup drive, as one of our ambassadors is also initiating that as well in Karachi. So we can talk to our friends about sustainability. These small steps create a momentum. And most importantly, don't wait to be an expert. You don't need a little to lead. I started by suggesting a money plant idea at my workplace, and that one idea became action. So, my message is look around you, at where you are and grow from there. You're not too young or too old, you're right on time. So you have to initiate, you must be an initiator.
Okay, Alham.
Yeah, my suggestion to different people watching us and to different people who might watch us later on, climate change is a reality. There is no doubt in that. And as Liber suggested earlier, that it does not matter where you start or how much expert you are in a field or not. You just need to start. You just need to raise awareness. We have the case study of Greta Thunberg, the Swedish girl who started this all back when she was 13, 14 years old. He started participating in protests and sitting around, and then she actually raised awareness about the issue. She actually made the whole world realize that climate change is a problem, and whole of the states, the whole of the global community, whether it be the international organizations or the states, they need to take action there. It was just one girl who initiated that, and then under the umbrella of intersectionality, she addressed several issues linking to the climate change. She addressed the capitalism. She addressed how the capitalism, how the capitalists, how the industry owners, how the manufacturers, how the rich people, they are propagating for the industries to opt fossil fuels and use their companies and buy the products from their companies. She raised awareness regarding that, and she was only what 15, 16, 17 years old. I believe she is still 18 or 19 years old. She went to Gaza a few days ago. So it does not matter where you start from. It does not matter what you do. You have the whole world at your disposal. And believe me, a plant, it does not cost 500 rupees. I mean, it is, you can get two three plants in 500 rupees, two three seedlings, and you can just water them and grow them into big plants. And as Laba mentioned earlier, that you can work for the advocacy. You can talk about these initiatives among your friends. You can raise awareness using the social media. It is actually the biggest tool that we all have, that we utilize for different things. Like, we waste hours and hours just scrolling through the reels and doing all this stuff. Other, we could just go on there, talk about it for a minute and a half, and just upload the reel. People might say it, like we are doing here at DSG and DSG, eco ambassadors as well, the green leaders as well. We are doing this, and that's how you need to raise awareness. You raise awareness. That's how you do that. And in the later time, in the coming months, in the coming years, you will reap benefit out of this. That's my advice to all. Just start it. And it does not matter where you stand right now, what resources you have or not. Just start talking about it. It's your future. It's the future of your coming generations. And you need to be serious about it. You need to be sound and literate about it. That's how you will protect those. Otherwise, they will burn in the same hell as we are right now, because the people in the big chairs, they decided for this to happen, and we did not raise any voice or whatsoever, and we are facing right now. So that's my suggestion. That's my advice for us all, to just raise awareness, start doing whatever you can. That's how you're going to fix the environment. Otherwise, we all are already doomed.
Okay, excellent advice. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. And thank you so much. It's time to say goodbye to you. So, thank you so much and for joining us today. Such an insightful and valuable session, this. And I truly appreciate your time and passion you bring to these conversations. So, thank you so much, guys.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Jaspriya.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you. So now, all our viewers, thank you for tuning in, and we hope you found these session engaging, inspiring, and thought-provoking. So these conversations are what they're driving us to building more sustainable and brighter future together. To make sure to stay connected and keep an eye out for more exciting and impactful session coming your way soon. So this is your host Tasbiha Fazal logging out. Until next time, stay inspired, stay green, and stay tuned. Allah Hafiz.